Okay, I have two images open here for landscape, and I want to show you how we can do some edits on them. This one was taken on a golf course. I love golf. I was in Texas playing, and I heard um, lightning and thunder. And so I put my clubs away and took out my camera. And my friend was still playing, so I let her do her thing, and I was like, I'm not gonna die out here. So I took this shot. You can kind of see that there's some storm feeling, but I think it's the camera tried to correct it a little too much. So I feel like there's some mood here I can really add back in. I can also decide to crop it. I think I might crop some off the top, or I can crop some off the bottom. So we'll play with that as well. Okay, always make a copy. And of course, I'm going to go into my adjustments. I'm going to do levels first. And I do think it's too light, so I'm definitely going to adjust. Look at that. Just even that little bit really kind of helps a lot. I'm even making some of my midtones because it got really dark. So the dark was coming from this side and the sun was still on the right hand side. You can see the long shadows of the trees. So I like that already, just to see what it looked like before, like all washed out. And then that has some nice colors to it. Um, I almost kind of think that's nice. Let's see about the cropping though, because it's kind of in the middle of the road. So we can either crop from the top, or do we think the sky is better and less ground? Because all of this ground is kind of the same. So, and I can even kind of come in like that, crop that little tree out. I don't know. I can't decide. I think it should be more panoramic-ish. Yeah, something like that. And those were pretty simple adjustments. I can see, I don't think I really want to adjust the color. Um, I can go down in here. I like the warms. The yellows come from the early morning sun and the late afternoon, but I can maybe play with some reds. Um, take out some reds maybe, or improve or make them more red. I can't remember what time of year this was. Let's see. I just saturated the reds, just made it a little warmer. I think that looks good. I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Now I could go in and really kind of make the sky darker. In fact, I could do that with my burn tool, if you guys recall, to make an area darker. Again, look how big my brush is. I want the exposure really low so it's not real obvious. And maybe just kind of do the corners. Definitely darker over here. Just trying to get through those trees a little bit. I think that might be too much. See, now let's step back and see where did I go too much. Can't even see where I did it. think I'm going to leave it at that. Maybe do a little bit more up there. Now, you know, you can vignette, you can make the corners darker just to keep your viewer kind of in the image. That's not bad. But I like how my attention has stayed on the trees that have the shock of light. Okay, so then I'm done with this one. I would resize it and upload it. Now, I'm going to look at this next image. And whoops, I just closed it. Wasn't paying attention. It's an older image that I took of water, and I'm not even sure where it was when I took this. Okay, so first thing I need to rotate it. Image rotation clockwise. Oh, I know there's a place off River Road that we kind of found a little beach area, and we were throwing our dog the ball to play in the water. Okay, so I'm going to also view. I want fit on screen. Okay, so this image, again, it was taken kind of midday, not the best lighting. And I wanted to show you guys a little bit more in depth how you can switch a photograph to black and white. And sometimes, you know, there's just, it looks good in black and white. So there's a bunch of different ways to do this. Okay, so the first one is through the adjustments, and you know, where you see that rectangle with half black, half white. And you just click that. Again, switches it over, but you're not done. You need to move these toggles around and play with the contrast. Go really kind of dark with these. Green does your mid-tones. Now that's kind of awkward looking. Okay, and yellow can play with your sky, but it's really kind of playing with, again, the mid-tones. And already I'm making it more dramatic. Now I would probably cross this off because this is my dog or me or friend kind of coming through there. So I might just go ahead and, I thought I had that put on screen, but come up a little bit above that. Okay, so now there we go. Again, I can keep playing. There's the sky. Yeah, I like that. Nice, rich values. Okay, so that's one way. All right, again, through adjustments and the black-white adjustment. Okay, and that's a good way, I think. Another way is to go to image mode and select grayscale. Then it's going to ask you, do you want to get rid of the colors? And you say discard. And you notice that it turned my background to black and white. And that's fine too. Then you could go through any of these and, you know, make the adjustments however you seem fit. Okay, and it would do kind of the same kind of thing, although not maybe as precisely, but maybe more dramatically, which is what you want. Okay, so that's one way. Let's go back to the original image. Rotate because we want that. There's also under adjustment, there's the color black and white. Okay, and that brings us back to this. It's the same thing as the adjustment. The difference is when I go through the image tab up here, it changes my background immediately. Whereas when I go to my adjustment, it's a layer on top of my color background. And so really, to get the best out of Photoshop, you should use the adjustment, okay, to do that. All right, so that's adjusting to black and white.